So that's also making sure that we're getting that lead into people's ecosystem early and setting the expectation. One of the biggest things, and you and I have spoken about this off camera too, right? In this industry, one of the biggest things that I see all the time is that people don't set expectations, nor do they even meet them.
Goodness.
Yes. You know, they'll say, oh yeah, we'll get back to you next week with an offer. It's like, no, how about you say, I'm going to come back to you in 24 hours at this time with an offer. I'll be calling you on this number, or I'll be meeting you on a Zoom call. And here's what we're going to discuss on that call. You know, when people know what's going to happen next and they're really aware of what that next step is, it overcomes those objections in their head already. So coming back to know, like, and trust, expectation setting, my friends, like, be clear with people on what's going to happen next, so you're not leaving them wondering.
You are speaking my language. Two things. If you are watching this or you're listening to this, whatever it is, just write these two things down if you want to be successful. One, pick up the phone when people call you, right? You spent a lot of money for marketing. I can't tell you how many people have put out bandit signs and sent me postcards, and then they never answer the phone when you call them back.
I know.
But the other thing is exactly what you just said. At the end of every call, in all parts of your business, right? Whether you're talking to an acquisitions or dispositions or a title company, whatever. Hey, here's the next step. Or what is the next step? Because understand, the people that you're talking to, your seller and your buyer, probably have never done this before, right? Or they've probably never done business with you before. And this is confusing. Most people only sell their house, like 3 to 5 times in a lifetime. Like we do this every day. I've done it thousands of times. So to us, it's very normal. This is just the thing that we do. But the person you're talking to, this is very strange. One, it's strange. Two, they're probably under some kind of duress, right? There's some reason this house is keeping them up at night, or, you know, this building storage unit, whatever it is, like they need to get this thing sold. And, you know, you need to tell them, here's the next step. If you're even in just the exploratory phase with your seller, exactly what you just said. Hey, here's what Mrs. Smith, here's what I'm going to do. Let me go get with my partner. I'm going to run some numbers here. I think we can get something done here for you. Can I call you back in an hour? Would that be okay? Or when would be a good time for us to speak, right? Get it on the schedule. So answer the phone. Here's what the next step is. Let people know what's happening and what the expectation is, because they're busy, and honestly, some people are just dopey, and they'll just
totally. And you can't underplay that enough. So, you know, even though in our brains, because as you said, we've done this hundreds and hundreds of times, in our brains we feel like we're just regurgitating the same, okay, here's what's going to happen next, blah, blah, blah. But always put yourself in the shoes of the property owner. And I love what you just said there. This could be the first time that they've ever done this. And even when we are building out like websites and socials, a lot of the stuff we'll have on there is about what happens, next steps, how you get paid, what due diligence means, like all of these things that are new terms to them. Like if you say we're about to go do due diligence and we're going to, you know, if it's vacant land, we're going to go and do a perk test. 99% of people will be like, a what? Are you going to do a what? What's due diligence and what's a perk test? So speak to them. What did someone say ages ago? It's like, speak to someone like you're speaking to a 5-year-old about like what's going to happen, right? And then you'll always be on the same page with your prospects. The minute you're not on the same page with them, that's when they start to pull back. And that's when you'll get people ghosting you more and not wanting to interact.
You know, one thing that I've seen new people do is they learn a little bit of information and then they want to show people how smart they are. I get it, right? Like I understand that, right? You've learned something new and it's like a new toy, and you want to go say the words like, you know, I'm going to buy your house. I'm going to put it subject to, but don't worry about the due on sale clause, because I'm going to put it into an intervisio land trust. And then we're going to do all these, like, no, like, don't do that. Like, you know, hey, I'm going to solve your problem. You can trust me. I'm going to make sure that we get this solved for you. Right? Like, because when you give people so much information, one, you could make a mistake and say the wrong thing, right? Because now you're starting to get into very technical things. And that's at best. At worst, exactly what you were just talking about. You're you know, a confused mind says no. You said that earlier. My brother says that an awful lot. And it happens. And, you know, I've been through that, dealing with vendors, right? Like, I need a very simple website. And they're like, okay. And they started talking about, you know, funnels and click-through and add-on sales and upsells and downsales. And I'm like, I just need a website. I just need a place to send people, right? And I did end up working with those people, but I told them after, I'm like, you guys, it was too much. I just needed to know that you could solve my problem. So
exactly.
I think that's so important.